Whenever you get into a new relationship, you find yourself obsessing over that person and it becomes unhealthy to you. So, here are three steps that you can use to break that pattern. The first step is separate what is yours and what's not. That means you don't try to control the outcome of the situation. Because what is a relationship? It's two people deciding that they want to be together. And for it to be healthy, both of them have to want it just as much, right? So if you're constantly waiting for their text or hoping that they would be more available emotionally or time wise, you are trying to micromanage your behavior or things you say just so you can keep that connection. That is you managing what is their responsibility. Your responsibility is not abandoning yourself, showing up in the truest way to yourself with what you want, keeping your standards, keeping your values, keeping what you believe is right for you. It's not your responsibility to make them behave the way you want, to make them want to stay with you, to make them show up in a healthy way. And I see this quite often, women blaming themselves, thinking that because they're too needy or because they said certain things or they did certain things, then that man lost interest. That is not something you can control. Your responsibility is not the same as their responsibility. You do your part, the rest has to come from them, and you do not control that. So when they pull back, not your responsibility. When they break a promise to you, not your responsibility. Your responsibility is showing up in a way that is true to yourself and observing. You observe. If they do something that is not aligned with what you believe, with your values, with what you want, you observe. That is data. You collect that data for you to make an informed decision. Yes, it's rational. Because the moment you decide to try and control the outcome of the relationship and oh, they have a trauma from their past relationship and now it's my duty, it's my task to show them that there are good women out there and that I am trustworthy and I'm gonna make him believe in love again. From the moment you take that responsibility to yourself, just understand that you are signing up for carrying a relationship by yourself. So whenever there's a problem, just imagine yourself like 10 years from now. What do you think is going to happen staying with a person like that? When you take all of the weight, all of the tasks that a relationship demands to yourself, it's never going to be a collaboration. It's never going to be something fair. Whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is a problem, even when things are normal, it's still going to be you doing the heavy work. So make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that is something you actually want. Step number two is you stop imagining a reality before it's actually proven to you. Here is how it works. You only obsess because you are imagining steps ahead, things that are not on the right timing for them to happen yet, things that have not been proven to be true, and you are already ahead of the time. You are ahead of yourself, ahead of the dynamic, and you are imagining that they could be the one, that the dating pool is not very good, so you should make sure that you secure that person because at least they are decent, at least they are XYZ, and you attach yourself, you get so obsessed over their qualities, and you start ignoring the part you don't like and the part that is misaligned with you, and you start imagining and building a future on top of that. That person has never shown you that they have the structure to hold what you are imagining or even what they are promising if they are not very healthy. If they say that one day you were going to go on a trip together, one day you could have a dog together, one day. But right now, today, do they have a lifestyle that supports that? Do they already have that? Or are they telling you that they're going to change themselves for you? Because please know, if you still believe that someone changing themselves because of you is a proof of love, you got more work to do on yourself than you imagine. Because someone leaving behind an addiction or a bad habit because of the relationship is not a place where you want to be. Please trust me. Being the replacement for an addiction, let's say someone had a bad habit, but the moment they meet you, they tell you that they have no more reason to engage in that addiction or habit, and you feel proud. Oh my god, you saved someone. If you feel that, just please know you have a lot of work to do in shifting that mindset. So please assess the person as of now. How are they now? Can they actually support the lifestyle they're trying to sell to you? If not, don't attach yourself to the future. See reality right now. Number three is tied to step number two. And step number three is you decide based on reality, not on feeling. I want to make it clear that feeling is normal when you're getting to know someone, especially if you're selective, especially if you don't date a lot of people because you know that most of them don't meet your standards, then when you meet someone who at least seems like they could be a good fit, you will naturally get a bit more tense, a bit more, you will catch yourself thinking about them and analyzing their texts and analyzing their behavior to make sure that you don't repeat past mistakes. That is normal. But what is important is that you are aware of it and you just watch those thoughts and those feelings pass. You don't obsess over them, you don't feel them unconsciously. That's what matters. So the point is you allow yourself to feel, but you will never abandon yourself again just to keep that, just because you are so attached to the first 2 weeks of the relationship, how everything was so perfect, and you keep believing that that will come back. So you stay hoping that it will go back to that. But reality is already showing you otherwise. So the best place you can be, the healthiest place you can be in the beginning of a relationship or throughout the entire relationship, the entire dynamic, is to allow yourself to feel, but to have enough self respect to the point that the moment you see misalignments and you see that this is getting bad, you trust yourself to leave the situation. You know you can leave. You can feel, but you can leave without having to go through a nightmare for you to see how bad it is. You don't wait until you are intoxicated for you to realize that that was poison. So just know that whenever you are starting to obsess over someone, at least one of these three things is happening. One, you're trying to take responsibility over something you cannot control. Controlling someone's behaviors, thoughts, feelings, that is not your responsibility. Second, you're attached to a future that doesn't exist yet. And number three, you are ignoring something you already saw. You saw the misalignments and you were ignoring it. You kept going anyway. That is what builds obsession. You build the obsession yourself. The obsession comes from your mind, not from reality.